Behind the cold stone walls of medieval dungeons, some prisoners didn't just survive, they thrived. From luxurious cells to secret trade networks, discover how clever inmates transformed their confinement into hidden kingdoms of power and influence. Money could buy comfort even behind medieval prison walls. Rich prisoners often turned their cells into cozy private apartments, complete with fancy furniture, soft beds, and personal servants. These wealthy inmates could order fresh food from local markets, wear their own clothes, and even host dinner parties. In London's Fleet Prison, some rich prisoners decorated their rooms with expensive tapestries and paintings. They had wine cellars, private kitchens, and could pay for better spots with windows and fireplaces. The Tower of London's better-off prisoners could hire cooks, maids, and even tutors for their children. Some cells were so nice that guards started charging extra rent for the best rooms, turning prisons into strange hotels where comfort depended on your wallet. Medieval prisoners were masters at creating hidden communication networks, turning their isolated cells into connected communities. They developed clever ways to pass messages using everything from tapping codes on walls to elaborate string systems between windows. Guards often found strings dangling between cells, carrying tiny notes rolled into balls. Prisoners would save bits of charcoal to write messages on scraps of cloth or paper, which they'd hide in food containers or pass through tiny holes in walls. Some even trained prison cats and rats to carry messages between cells. In larger prisons, inmates created whole postal systems with designated messengers who would distribute news during exercise time. They used special knocks and whistles as signals and developed their own secret languages. These networks weren't just about passing time. They helped organize escapes, share food, and keep spirits up in the darkest of places. Inside medieval prisons, a fascinating underground economy took shape. Prisoners created their own mini-markets where everything had value, from extra blankets to food scraps. They even made their own forms of money using whatever they could find. Small items like bread, candle stubs, and pieces of metal became currency. Skilled prisoners offered services like letter writing, clothes mending, or storytelling in exchange for food or better sleeping spots. The guards often got involved too, taking bribes to deliver messages or bring in items from outside. Some prisoners became wealthy prison merchants, controlling the flow of goods through the jail. They would buy items in bulk from guards and resell them to other inmates at a profit. Even the poorest prisoners found ways to take part, trading small favors or information. This creative trading system helped inmates survive and showed how people can build working economies in the most unlikely places. Being locked up didn't always mean losing power. Noble prisoners often kept ruling from behind bars, turning their cells into makeshift royal courts. Kings and queens would receive visitors, write official letters, and make important decisions right from prison. Take Charles I of Naples. While locked up in Spain, he managed his kingdom through secret messages hidden in wine barrels. Many imprisoned nobles kept their own staff, held political meetings, and even signed laws from their cells. They used their family connections to maintain influence, with relatives acting as go-betweens with the outside world. Some prison wardens actually became part of these nobles' inner circles, carrying messages to other powerful people. The prison cell became just another type of throne room, showing that real power isn't always about where you are, but who you are and who you know. Guards weren't always the strict rule enforcers we might imagine. Many became business partners with their prisoners, creating a complex system that benefited both sides. For the right price, guards would smuggle in luxury items, carry messages, or even let prisoners come and go as they pleased. In London's Fleet Prison, some guards made more money from bribes than their regular pay. They'd help wealthy prisoners run businesses from their cells, deliver love letters, or arrange secret meetings with visitors. Some guards even rented out their own rooms to prisoners who wanted more space. This partnership between guards and inmates created a strange balance of power. Prisoners got what they wanted, while guards earned extra money. The prison authorities knew about this corruption, but often looked the other way since it kept things peaceful. It was like a carefully planned dance where everyone knew the steps, but nobody talked about it openly. Inside medieval prisons, powerful inmates created their own system of leadership and justice. Strong or wealthy prisoners often became cell block kings, settling disputes and organizing daily life. These leaders would assign jobs, hand out punishments, and make sure everyone followed the unwritten rules of prison life. They had advisors who helped run things. Some handled trading, others kept peace, and some managed communication with guards. If prisoners had arguments or broke prison rules, these leaders would hold informal courts. They'd listen to both sides and make decisions that everyone had to follow. Even the guards often respected these leaders since they helped keep order. Some cell blocks even had their own traditions, ceremonies, and ways of welcoming new prisoners. It was like a tiny kingdom within the prison walls. Information was power in medieval prisons, and clever inmates created amazing networks to stay informed. Prisoners used visiting family members as news sources, bribing guards to bring in letters and documents from town. Some wealthy inmates paid messengers to whisper news through cell windows at night. In bigger prisons, inmates worked with local merchants who would hide messages in food deliveries. They also got creative with their methods, using hollow bread loaves, false-bottomed water jugs, and even coded messages in seemingly normal letters. Prisoners who worked in the kitchen or laundry became valuable spies, picking up gossip from guards and other workers. These intelligence networks helped inmates stay connected to the outside world, plan escapes, and even continue running their businesses or political affairs from behind bars. Religious figures played a surprising role in medieval prison life, often becoming key players in the underground communication network. Prison chaplains, who could move freely between cells to offer spiritual guidance, became perfect message carriers. They passed notes hidden inside prayer books, arranged meetings between prisoners during confession times, and even smuggled letters to the outside world in their religious robes. Some chaplains helped prisoners maintain contact with their families, hiding personal messages inside religious blessings. The guards rarely searched religious workers, making them perfect go-betweens. While many chaplains genuinely cared for prisoners' spiritual needs, they also understood that helping with communication kept the peace and gave inmates hope. This mix of spiritual care and secret messaging made chaplains some of the most trusted people in prison life. Let's look at some remarkable prisoners who built incredible influence from their cells. Take Sir Thomas Malory, who wrote the famous Le Morte d'Arthur while in London's Newgate prison. Despite being locked up, he turned his cell into a writer's studio and created one of medieval literature's greatest works. Then there's Charles II of Navarre, who ran his kingdom from prison in 1356, using a network of loyal servants to carry out his orders. Even in the Tower of London, Sir Walter Raleigh set up a study where he wrote books, conducted science experiments, and advised powerful people who visited him. These prisoners show how medieval jails could become centers of power and creativity. Some inmates even became so influential that their guards treated them more like honored guests than prisoners. They proved that stone walls couldn't always contain a determined spirit. The influence of medieval prison kingdoms can still be seen in modern jails. Today's informal prisoner hierarchies, underground trading systems, and even the way inmates communicate mirror these ancient patterns. The medieval practice of different treatment based on wealth evolved into modern private prisons and premium cells. The old system of prisoner representatives working with guards has become today's formal inmate councils. Even modern prison economies, with their creative use of cigarettes and snacks as currency, echo medieval trading networks. Guards still play that delicate balance between enforcer and facilitator, much like their medieval counterparts. These parallels show that when humans are confined, they create similar social structures, whether in a medieval dungeon or a modern facility. Thanks for exploring these fascinating stories of medieval prison life with me. These clever inmates remind us that human ingenuity finds a way, even in the toughest spots. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a history-loving friend.